Okay, we'll start with Ryan Karchi.
Good morning, Todd. Could you just give us your first impression on Oregon and kind of just generally what this strange week has been like, just not finding out about that until yesterday, and then also having signing day kind of thrown into this whole thing?
Yeah, Oregon's explosive. Joe's very creative. It's always been that way. They can pace you. They look over to the sidelines. They can change plays, and it's just they utilize their personnel extremely well. So the week itself has been strange. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's been some. We were kind of laughing about it yesterday because we got back into the room and started doing the Oregon stuff, and if they run this route concept, what do we do? And it was actually a route concept from Washington that was still stuck in our brains from the morning. So we caught ourselves a couple times talking about plays that we already had kind of in our head. But this is going to be a championship game, and we're all excited about it. So signing day comes up, puts it in, but we've got an incredible recruiting staff that really picked up the slack, and they understand what we're trying to get accomplished. And guys, it's been a grind, but it's what you want. You're playing relevant games in, the middle of the month in December. You're doing something right.
Speaking of strange, what has this whole recruiting cycle been like for you? I can imagine it's different than any other one you've been a part of.
It's different just from the standpoint as you learn how to use technology, and you learn to make it as personalized as possible. I think that's probably the biggest thing is, because you can't physically have contact with guys, but the recruits understand too. I mean, it's the part that becomes a little bit difficult is when you get guys that are from out of state. We're going to make our hay in Los Angeles and in California recruiting, but if there's a couple handful of guys that are outside the state, you normally have a chance to evaluate them live, and then have a chance to get them on your campus and do that. And there's been a handful of kids that you just haven't done that with, which makes it different. You got to really trust the fact that you can get them, use technology to show them the stuff that you have on your campus, but you lose the personalized, bring them up into your office, sit down with them and do those things. So that's the different part. But everybody's trying to adjust to it. And I think the recruits understand that it is different, and then they're going to have to make decisions that are within their heart and from the research that they do. So, everybody learns how to adjust with it.
Okay, we'll go to shotgun.
Todd, what was your evaluation of the UCLA game?
Oh, we won. That's what my evaluation. These kids are some of the toughest guys, and I just wish that we could put fans in the stands to watch these guys compete. I mean, it's incredible. When it's a big time moment, they step up. When they never flinch. It's incredible what they're doing. This is collectively as a team. And then that's the part that, like, if you've done this a long time, I've been in this game my whole life, and you get into these teams that are so resilient, and they take punches, they don't back away from it, they throw, and they 15 round, they ring the bell and it's over, and they're still throwing punches. I mean, it's incredible. Just so proud of them, that the way that they compete and the way they fight.
What was the chess match like with Chip Kelly?
It was good. I mean, Chip is, date back to all the way when we were up in New England together, and he formation you, pace you, do everything that humanly possible to strain you, and then has a running quarterback and has some weapons. And he unleashed it all. He played that game as earlier in the year, they played Colorado and did something very similar to it, and kind of settled in a little bit, through the next couple games, but he let it all out, and we were adjusting on the fly. There was a lot of things that we had worked at that we didn't see, and credit to our guys, because when it was critical, when it was 4th and 1 or turnovers, they stepped up and made the plays. And sometimes you get into those ball games where it's like that, where you're working your tail off on the sidelines to get guys and try to get them into situations which are more advantageous, and they found a way to win. And that's, at the end of the day, that we're an undefeated ball team going into the championship at home, and that's all that counts.
Speaking on that, were the unbalanced looks that you guys saw a lot of in the first half, was that something you had to adjust to in game?
Yeah, a little bit. That was the stuff, some of the tackle over stuff that they ran, things that we were on the film, going into it, but the frequency and some of the plays that they were running were a little bit different.
Adam Grossbard.
Talanoa, you went from 0 career interception to 4 in the last 4 weeks. Was that an area of focus for you during the offseason and preseason?
During the off season, I definitely just try to step up my game in total. I think I definitely still have a lot to work on all around, and a big emphasis this year, just for our whole team, is just to run and hit and create turnovers. So as much as we can to help the offense out, I gotta make the most of all my opportunities I get, and at the end of the day, just want to help our team win any way possible.
And 35 tackles in your last 2 games against UCLA. What is it about that matchup that brings that out of you?
I think it was. I don't really have too much to say on it, except for we want to get the victory bell anyway, shape or form. So at the end of the day, I didn't get to play my freshman year against them, so I just wanted to get as many wins as possible in my career. So I'm 2-1 against them right now. So anyway, hopefully we can just continue that winning process.
Ryan Young.
Todd, for those of us who have never game planned for an opponent on a short week, can you tell us just how much of it was lost by having that one day focused on Washington, and how significant that is in the grand scheme?
Yeah, you're probably looking at, like, when you play on Saturday, you go into Sunday, and you look at the tape from the day before, and then you kind of start the process with it. So me personally, you probably go about 8 hours on Sunday, and then in the morning for about 3. So you're looking about 11, 12 hours. So it's not a big, it's not one of those things that's like you lost 36, you know what I'm saying? So you still got to sleep. So you're probably about 12 hours.
For
So you just
Talanoa
grind.
and-
You end up, and instead of going home at 9, you go home at 12. You wake up earlier, so you catch up. So it's not a big deal.
Good deal. For Talanoa and Marlon, what's the biggest difference in this defense this year versus last year, now that you've had 5 games and you kind of know what you are as a unit?
Go ahead, G.
Definitely just the aggressiveness that we bring, energy on the sidelines, and we're playing a lot. We're playing together as a unit right now, and the trust that we have in our coaches, and the trust that they have in us, and it reciprocates on the field to be able to go out there and play our game. Like Coach said during the game, we had to make adjustments. We couldn't make excuses, and we couldn't look in the past. We just had to move forward and continue to grind through what was going on. And we had to battle adversity. It's pretty much our culture versus their culture. And at the end of the day, we just wanted to show what we're our abilities and what we're capable of, and go out there and make our plays in any way, shape, or form to get the win.
Yeah, I mean, Coach been saying this from like fall camp. Yeah, I think we're just having fun with our defense. Like, we all have trust in each other, and we're just playing as a collective unit. And I think we're just having fun with it. That's why, like, when we're down, we don't worry about it. We just keep playing. That's what happened on Saturday.
Thanks.
Eric McKinney.
For Talanoa and then Marlon, it feels weird to ask about kind of motivation going into a championship week, but this is 2 games on short weeks. That's a really emotional game against UCLA, switching the opponents and all of that after everything you guys have been through. Where are you guys right now, sort of emotionally, physically, and kind of mindset getting ready for this game?
Coach has done a great job of taking care of our bodies throughout this process. We've had a couple lighter practices just to get our feet back underneath us, because we've gone through a couple hard weeks right now. So just to try to utilize this time and get back going and get ready for a great Oregon team. We just want to do our best just to prepare mentally and physically. And so far, Coach has done a great job utilizing this time to help us do our best.
Yeah, T pretty much said it all. Coach has been taking care of us, and our shift is now in Oregon. So we're just getting ready for them.
And then Todd, I know it goes back kind of a decade, but is there anything to you and Joe Moorhead having coached together, or is that, ancient history in terms of how things develop in college football?
No, it's been a while since we've been together, but you have certain type of philosophies, you have certain ways of doing stuff. So he knows mine, I know his, and he wants his guys to be physical and be able to establish run game, take shots, and things like that. So but we stay, kind of follow each other's career. I mean, anytime you work with somebody, especially as from a coordinator, you get really close to them because you work with them every day, setting things up for, practices and things like that. So just the philosophy part is probably the biggest thing.
Back to shotgun.
Todd, with Dante having coached at Oregon, how much do you pick his brain as far as just personnel and what they may have?
A lot, so it's, we talked about this beforehand, when we played Utah and Craig was the last guy that played him and saw him live. So you go in there and you ask, and, and having somebody that was in that building last year really knows all the ins and outs of every kid, how they work, how they process, what kind of athlete they are. So absolutely. That process started, yesterday, the second we got the word.
I guess UCLA, you guys cut down your rotations a little bit more. Is that something that you can do again this week against Oregon, or is it something because of the back-to-back short weeks that you got to kind of expand and use a little bit more of the roster?
Yeah, I see us expanding more. It's just making sure that we're not pushing the envelope on this, and we're trying to be smart this week. I mean, this is going to be really, really critical. I think in a normal season, when this would, whatever game this would be, 13 going into it, you'd have a beat up crew, but you have to take the same approach, even though you've only played 5 games going into it, but it's still late December. And when you play the game, there's a certain way that you feel in early August, and then there's a certain way you feel in December, regardless of how many games you play. So we're being very, very mindful of this. We're here for a reason. We're just going to make sure our guys are physically ready to battle.
Go back to Adam.
Marlon and Talanoa, obviously a Pac-12 title has been a goal for this team all season, but would there be any extra satisfaction just after last year's loss to Oregon to prove by beating them that you guys have, how far you guys have come since last year?
I mean, I think we're pretty excited to play them. We know the outcome last year, so I think we're just gonna try to go out there and play the ball that we've always that we played this whole year. So I think we're pretty excited for that.
Yeah, ultimately, I think he just hit on the point. We just gotta play our game as much as we can. It's a great team in Oregon, but at the same time, we gotta compete against ourselves the most, and we just gotta be 1-0 on the week, as Coach preaches. And if we do those things, the outcome will be great.
This might seem like an obvious question, but just what's your excitement level getting to play in a Pac-12 championship game finally?
Can you repeat that one more time? I'm sorry.
Yeah, just what is your guys' excitement level getting to finally play in a Pac-12 championship game?
Oh, I'm ecstatic. I think this is going to be super cool. I think it's a great opportunity and a great experience just to go out there and compete. We're playing against a great team, and for me, it's a team from my home state. So I know a bunch of the guys on the team, and I'm really excited to go against them. And I think I've been dreaming of this opportunity because I haven't even been able to play an Oregon team since I got to college. So any team I can get my hands on over there, it's gonna be fun.
I'm pretty excited. I think our whole team is excited to go out there and have a chance to win the championship, because that's what we've been preaching since quarantine. So to finally be here, it's a blessing, and I think we're gonna try to take the most of our opportunity.
Ryan Young.
Kind of building off that, both of you guys have been here through some of the leaner years recently, the 5-7 season. Does that make you appreciate this even more, knowing where you've come from in the last 2 years?
Definitely, you gotta keep moving forward. We had some rough seasons in the past, but we just want to continue to build off of that. And we're trying to establish a culture here, and I think we've done a great job of just trying to change that around. And we have two words, run and hit. So that when you have those run and hit the whole time during a game, things will work in your favor. So when we establish that kind of culture, things will go in our favor.
Yeah, it was tough these last 2 seasons, but I think we're finally getting to show like what we're capable of. And like I said, Coach Teal bringing his culture in and having that run and hit mentality, I think we've been showing that all year. So we're gonna just try to go out there and do that again this week.
And building off that, there's been a lot of talk about culture. We heard it from the offensive guys yesterday. Can you put your finger on what's different in games this year when you guys fall behind, when your backs are against the wall, and you're able to come back every time, whereas maybe a year ago, 2 years ago, it's a different outcome? What's the different ingredient that makes this happen this year?
We just gotta stick together. We got a bond that we've built over the past, I don't even want to say weeks. You gotta throw that all the way back into the quarantine. When you have coaches that are willing to put in the time during meetings and on a Zoom and really focus and try to build that relationship, that's trust. And when you have that kind of trust in between a coach and they have the trust in you to go out there and make plays and put you in the right positions, the opportunities are endless. And so I really appreciate everything they have done. And that's the kind of culture you want in a championship team. And so for us just to go out there and build off of that is an incredible opportunity for us.
Yeah, I think our coaches have done a great job since quarantine, just keeping at us, like telling us to just keep working, and it's finally coming to, like it's finally here, and this is what we've been working for. So I think our coaches have a big part in it, and then just us as a team, like we don't lose faith in each other when we're down. Like we just keep playing, and they just offense does their thing, and then defense we try to make run and hit. So I think we've done a good job of that.
Thanks, guys.
Ryan Karchi.
I know we have two members of the family here, but Thule has also had a great little stretch here. It seemed like he had a breakout game in this last game. Marlon and Talanoa, what have you guys seen from your younger family member, and how much have you just seen him progress over the course of this first season for him?
We've just seen his growth from fall camp, just being the young buck. But for me personally, being on the D line with him, I just see his growth continually, like his confidence and growth, like it just keeps growing. And having Coach Vic there and Coach T.O., like I think that's that's really good for him. Like we have good coaches, so good coaches, and then him willing to work hard and stay humble. I think it's pretty good for him.
I'll piggyback off that. I think his growth has been crazy. And I'd even say it way back into like the high school days when they used to be on the same team, because I did not expect him to be the tallest one out of all of us, since he's the little for me. He's the little brother. He's taller than both of us. So like just watching him come out here and just play with us, it's an amazing opportunity. Just to have three siblings, like three family members on the field at once is incredible. So he's just done a great job. He's one of the hardest workers I know, and one of the most humble guys right behind this guy right here. So they really are a blessing to play with, for sure.
And Todd, what have you seen from Thule's development just throughout the course of this season? And can you kind of tell between the three of these guys that they have sort of a chemistry that only comes from, being blood related?
Yeah, I think early on when we watched Thule run around, without pads on, and you always worry about young guys in terms of pad level. When he played a little bit high. I think most of the high school guys come in and they want to search the football because they're so much better than the guys in front of them, so they can get away with it. But when he started coming out of his stance with pad level, we knew he was going to be special because he's got all the tools to do it. And I think all three of these guys are examples of smart, tough, and they can all they're athletes too. So it doesn't surprise me at all. I told Marlon, joking around the second that Thule started to take off, I said, "You got any more brothers, younger brothers, cousins, anybody that plays football? Because consider them offered if they do, because it's that's the insides of it. The athlete's one thing, and these guys are all three of them are super talented guys, but to me the internal, these guys are 5-star, 7-star guys internally in terms of their want-to, their work ethic, their character. And it doesn't surprise me that all 3 guys are playing very well.
Eric McKinney?
For the players again, Talanoa and Marlon, obviously without fans in the stands this year, that home field advantage has been kind of interesting. How important is it to have this game at home? You guys have taken some trips and obviously played in the Coliseum. Has there been a difference in playing in different atmospheres this year?
It's hard to answer that question because once you're in the game, for me personally, I can't answer that for everybody. But when I'm in the game, you just start playing. It's just you don't really notice the outside noise, and some people build off of that, and some people can play their game just by themselves. So for me, it's just been an incredible opportunity to see how it is and work in a whole different environment and be able to continue to play at the highest level. But I think obviously the home field advantage would be is cool because the Coliseum is an unbelievable place to play in, the tradition, the historic place it is. We just want to make the most of that and continue to win inside of it. So,
Coach always preaches about just bringing our own juice, and I think we've done that all season where we brought our own juice, and I think that's like where people they follow that, I guess, and I think like just bringing in our own juice, like that's what makes things exciting for us. But we'd obviously love to have fans and all that, but we bring our own juice. I think we'll be good.
Back to shotgun again.
Talanoa, how has the way you've been using this defense kind of unlocked your playmaking ability even more?
I wouldn't necessarily say I'm using this defense because being able to set up other guys in this defense is an opportunity. Even if I don't want to play, just trying to be able to set up somebody else to be on a blitz, come free, or something else. It's really cool to see the way we can move things around, move pieces. It's really just a chess match at the end of the day. You're trying to utilize your pieces in any way, shape, or form just to better your opponent. And so I think you can kind of see that in the last game, how we had to make adjustments and how we had to move things around just to be able to, at the end of the game, get stops, get turnovers, and ultimately just put a dub in the win column. So that was our ultimate goal, and I think our guys have done a great job of that.
And Todd, since you talked about Tuli a little bit, what's been the impact of Vic Soto on that defensive line?
Well, it's as I always say, if you catch all those guys in a room, he's got great presence to him. You know what I'm saying? So it's and he has a way of relating to him. It's kind of when we were in the hiring process with it is, he's a technician. We knew that. He could relate. We knew that. But deep down inside, he's smart and tough, and it's, that's the part that's impressive is just watching guys. And it takes time, unfortunately we didn't have spring football where guys really get a chance to figure out what we're all about, taking players over to your house and being able to sit down and just not talk football. We didn't have a chance to do that. So but that bond, especially in that room, has to be really, really tight. And the cool part about it is, like the guy on this call with Marlon is they're very similar, and once you have a player like him that can kind of gel everybody together, you got something special. So Vic, the technician part we knew, the presence we knew, and then the toughness part of it. And that's what those guys have to be up front. But you give a lot of credit to those guys that are up there, Marlon especially, because to me, they're like player coaches. Tally, he's a player coach. They hold a lot of things together, and they're able to communicate that because deep down in their heart, they know it's the way that we're doing things that leads to these opportunities that we're going to have in a couple of days.
Time for one quick question, and then we have to let these guys go. We'll finish with Adam Grossberg.
Talanoa, Marlon, just curious, what do your families do to watch these games? Do they, try to watch virtually together, or how are they, trying to enjoy the three of y'all's success this year?
With my family being in Oregon, you know, they try to just watch all the games on TV, obviously, and wait for the FaceTime call after the game, just so they can, you know, check in on me and see how I'm doing. But just trying to communicate as much as I can. And then, you know, obviously Marlon can answer what his family does down here. So,
Yeah, they just pretty much watch from home. They always like record like them just watching the game, just having fun, I guess. So pretty cool.
Okay, guys, thanks for joining us. Great job, Talanoa and Marlon, and Coach, appreciate your time again. A reminder to the media, we will have Coach Helton tomorrow, and that we're going to do that at noon. Tomorrow is signing day, so he'll be able to talk not only football, but signing day stuff. So until we talk again, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you.